Chris Turner is a disenchanted young father who believes that environmentalism has proven completely inadequate as a myth of renewal. It has become, he says, a sort of mythology of death, passionate, lyrical, righteous, and hopeless.
I'd been, I guess, in a sense, on the periphery of the environmental movement insofar as it is a single thing. I mean, it isn't quite, but you know what I mean. And I kept thinking there had to be a way to tell the climate story that got the scope right, that understood the size of the problem and the urgency and immediacy of the problem. If you sort of boiled down all of the various messages around the environmental conversation to that point, to the turn of the century, say, in addition to the nightmare, was a pretty muddled message about what could possibly be done. You often got the sense that even the leaders of the movement themselves didn't quite see a way to anything really constructive. I mean, that yes, we will try and contain the damage, but we haven't really thought about what something that worked would look like. And then the other thing is that I think whether it was accurate or not, there was definitely this perception among the general public that the concern was much more for ecosystems and animals than it was for people and jobs and livelihoods. And that really is where that's literally where people live, and that's where they their greatest concern ultimately does lie. I think they'll learn in time. A lot of them will learn because they won't want to be have-nots in this new economy. That's where a lot of my hope lies. Now California is leading the way. California, if it was a standalone economy, would be the 5th largest on Earth. So they changed the game in North America. The Obama administration in the U.S. has some pretty generous there's lots of things that they're doing to patch up the old, but they're also talking in some good ways about the new. The Ontario Green Energy Act, which will probably be passed this summer, is the most complete transplant of the German system that anyone's attempted yet. The market system, as currently construed, is actively encouraging the deepening of this problem. And so that's why ultimately the really great results are in places where that's been acknowledged and where the parameters, and it's not, which does not mean you move away from a capitalist market-driven economy. It just means you change the playing field so that game is now being played in a way that encourages the right kinds of behavior and discourages the wrong kinds of behavior.
And you call things by their right names and charge for them.
Exactly.
Here at The Green Interview, we agree with Chris Turner that hope is absolutely necessary if we're going to achieve the radical changes that we need. For The Green Interview, I'm Silver Donald Cameron. See you next time.